Hello, today's 24th of February. We have a MicroProfile technical discussion. Please help out with the minutes and also add your name to the minutes as well. Share. Okay, so we have few things. So the MicroProfile seminar too. So at the last week's live hangout, so John started putting a rough schedule over here, and anyway, John and we would get together again to work through the dates to make sure they make sense, and then we can start to share with a group, and also and make sure these dates is publicized on the mailing list, and also tell the OpenAPI telemetry GWT group so that they should start working on the new spec update. So this is one thing. So the other things we discussed briefly is must be compatible with E10 and E11. So this is we need to bear in mind with this. But anyway, that's as we move along, and we need to make sure. I mean, when we run the TC case, we need to make sure it should work with E10 and E11. So that's this is for this. Okay, John, you want to say
Yeah, quick
something?
question. Have we ever done that before, specifying explicit versions? I think I asked this last call,
I
and we
think
agreed not to add plus at the end, but to specify the exact versions. I can't remember though. Is this
we
the first time?
set minimum, I think, in the platform spec. And I think is since now, because E11 has been released, I think is we need to clarify which it should work with E11. If it doesn't, and I think we should go ahead with the 7.2 release together with E10, and then we should do a microprofile 8 if it couldn't work with E11. But we should bear in mind, and then we need to test it out.
So Roberto, when we talk about using Quarkus, which I believe is the third week in July, right, is the target date. Would that be with which core profile would be used, 10 or 11, or both? Could we do both?
10. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not even sure if we can even do like both at the same time, right? Because at least on Quarkus, we need to fix which API version you use for each API, right? Uh, I'm unsure if on the core profile it has version updates for each of the specs, but I'm guessing so, right? At least the platform version is a different jar. Um, I mean, if if there is no changes or there is no incompatible changes between spec APIs between 10 and 11 for the core profiles, then yes, I can probably run the Jakarta core profile 10 and 11 on two separate runners, right? But Quark is for work. I'll have to pick which CDI version to use and which JSON to use, and just talking specifically about core profile, right? And that's not something that you can do like with the switch. It's something that's coded directly into the server. Uh,
From the what 11, the changes for 11, compare between 11 and 10, I think it should work with either 10 and 11. But obviously for Liberty, and we will be able to run with either E10 or E11. However, if we want to release in July, I don't think Liberty probably won't be able to, commit the effort to be able to do this work, to be able to finish this work. So it's but we said that we should have one implementation proof it will work, be able to work with 11 and also be able to work with 10.
I mean,
So
we always say that the spec should be like minimum Jakarta version, and I mean the
yeah,
minimum Jakarta version is 10,
yeah,
right?
we should do 10 as at
So
least do 10. But if we say minimum, so that means this is the minimum. If it doesn't work with 11, so we should just say only work with E10. But I think I think E10 is a must need to be certified. So it's but I think could be nice to prove it's also work with E11. At least we try. Does Quarkus also support E11? A core profile?
not at the moment.
I could say Wildfly's running the MicroProfile TCKs right now with E11, and we're not seeing any issues. Now, granted, we don't implement every spec, but for everything we do, we're not seeing any issues with E11.
Do you cover already the complete core profile of Jakarta E11 for Wildfly?
Yes, we're one of the ratifying implementations.
We also prove MicroProfile 7.1 works with E11.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're running right now too, right? I guess
Yeah.
it's about 7.2, but 7.1 seems to work. So if 7.2 didn't work, I would be very surprised.
So I'm looking at the actual spec right now, and for Java SE, it says Java SE 11 or higher. But when I look at the actual core profile, it says MicroProfile 6.0 and above. This is the 7.1 spec, by the way. Requires Jakarta EE10 core profile support. So it doesn't say a minimum of for core profile in EE7. Sorry, in MicroProfile 7.1.
It didn't say that in 7.1. So what about 7.2? Because 7.1 at that time is E11 was not out. So now is Jakarta E10 is not latest. So there's E11 as well. We don't
Yeah.
want MicroProfile 7.2 only work with E10. I think we need to think about because the major thing we want another advantage to move the Jakarta EE core profile as a dependency rather than packaged is that also you can bring in your different EE levels.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, if if we need to release MicroProfile 7.2 in July, and then we could word the spec differently. We said must work with E10 and it should work with E11. If we say it should work with E11, it's not a must. So it's maybe we just say implementations is yeah, can make a MicroProfile 7 to work with E11. Maybe it's just reworded differently so that we don't commit to it, but the implementation are okay to work with either E10 or E11. It's maybe we do this instead.
What about Java SE levels?
So Java SE levels in the manual release, we are in our versioning scheme. We said we are not going to update the Java minimum Java versions. I think the Java versions will have to stay same as MicroProfile 7.1.
All right, somewhere I got it.
Because once they work with E11, so anyway, we only set the minimum Java versions. So however, in the scenario you want to work with E11, obviously Java version will change. But anyway, in our spec, we didn't say the this
Yes,
Java.
yes. 7.1. Sorry, I have to re-click on that again. Minimum. 11 or higher,
Yeah,
but some specs may support 8 or higher. Some
yeah.
individual specs. Okay.
Yes, for Jakarta
Wouldn't-
E11, that would be a 1721. So if it's for the scenario, MicroProfile 712 work with the Jakarta E11, so that would be has to be Java SE 17 or 21. But anyway, our spec does not disallow it.
Okay. That's going to be a longer discussion, I think. Because we're not putting requirements on Jakarta, I guess, by saying a minimum of 17. Sorry, a minimum of 11. We could probably get away with that.
Yeah, because the minimum. So you don't have to always to do the minimum.
So for 7.2, we have to support SE11 or higher.
Yeah.
For 11 or above, for E11 or above, we would have to in the spec say Java 17 or higher.
Yeah, if it's
Okay.
yeah, with if it works yeah, when it works with bringing the Jakarta E11, obviously
Okay.
the
And Roberto, do you see
minimum.
any problem with this as an implementation with Quarkus? Oh, you're on
No,
mute.
I mean,
Okay.
as I mentioned, right now we only support in 10, and that's the one that we're going to use in the next couple of months. I mean, probably we'll update Jakarta to 11 on Quarkus 4, but that's gonna be probably end of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So okay, so that's good. The other things that I want bring in is the email I sent to the mailing list. Is about the staging repo. So Roberto, for the current release process. So for the current release process, you did a recent update. there wasn't any staging repo involved, was there? So
Well, no, because the
oh
staging
yeah,
repo was part of the old Sonatype
yes,
open source repositories. And when they moved with all of the project effort on the open source repositories to the main Maven Central, they didn't support the staging repo process that we have on the other one. I mean, what they have is, I mean, I haven't looked into that for a while, but at least last time I did the release is what they have is you have to log in and then you can, well, check the deployments, but there is no staging repo like you had before. You were able to download the artifacts by using some REST endpoints, but you don't have an UI for that. At least you didn't have one for like a few months ago. I haven't checked recently, but I'm not sure if they have done any work on that.
yeah. So that's sync up. That's same as what I remembered when you told me that. Share one good news is Eclipse Foundation has provided the staging repo recently, and then Jakarta E has done the integration with that. So I recommend we also use the same plugin. This is what Jakarta E have done. So it's in the org Eclipse CBI.central. So they have this one staging a plugin, and then add all the necessary the configuration there. I will take a step. I will try to put in the release in the parent. And then because without staging repo, we won't be able to do any voting. So we need to point to the staging repo when we do the voting and etc. And then if the vote passed successfully, and then we can push it to the Maven Central. So that would be a business as usual. So the whole process and also the link to the state repo will be different. So this will be a new process for the 7.2. Any thought on this?
Yeah, one just quick thing to point out is you'll probably have to file an issue with Eclipse to set up the actual staging repository as well, because they had to do that specifically for the Jakarta EE ones. And basically the way they did it there is every EE spec has its own staging repository with basically a what do you want to call it? Kind of like a central repository that you can define to download everything. It's like an aggregate, basically, staging repository. But it'll need to be set up through the Eclipse Foundation because it's on their servers.
Oh, thank you, James. Didn't know that. Okay, I will follow that up. I will read the issue. Okay, so that's good. And then okay, this is for the 7.2 release. Any more questions or comments for the 7.2 release?
Can we add a list of the planned compatible implementations for each base Jakarta EE version? So it will be Jakarta EE Core Profile 10 for there it will be Quarkus, right? but for Jakarta 11, we need a different one. Maybe Wildfly or Open Liberty, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we. How do I say?
I think it's a good idea to update the compatible implementation website and indicate whether it's Jakarta EE 11 or Jakarta EE 10. So, I mean, sorry, John. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, it's up to the implementation if they want to declare ahead of time whether or not they plan to support or be ratifying implementation. Because it is forward-looking, right? So it's up to the implementation if they say we're going to be a compatible implementation. If they want to use the word ratifying, they could say that too if they plan to be a ratifying implementation.
I think
Yeah, the official term is compatible implementation, and we need at least one in for each combination to finish the spec release. So therefore, it's important to have at least one for each combination.
I think Yan, for that, I think is we discussed earlier. We said in our spec, when we released 7.2, we said we still say Jakarta E10. We can say it's this implementation. Maybe we should say could work with Jakarta E11, and so make that almost like the implementation can choose to support both 10 and 11 because 10 or just 10 or just 11. For releasing 7.2, we said the spec says it must work with E10. So obviously the compatible implementation has to make sure is able to run E10 core profile. And then after this is being released, if some other spec, the implementation, just for example, just choose a Halidon, is they decided to just support 7.2 with E11, or even if we if they choose if E12 come out, if they choose E12, so that's their own choice. I think if we do not say is a minimum or very value the sentence to say it should work is a must work with E10 and E11. I think a compatible implementation with E10 is accurate, but I do think even with that, and we should if we say that in our spec, in the compatible implementation here, we should say basically here is Jakarta E versions. For Liberty, I think is we will very keen probably is to support both. Here is one is a E10 and here is E11.
Yeah, but I'm not looking. You're right. Every implementation can choose whatever they like within the limits. So it could be 10, Jakarta E10 or Jakarta E11 on their choice, or both. But we need to verify that the tests passing with both Jakarta E versions. We don't want to release something based on Jakarta E10. And then later find out, releasing it with Jakarta E11 is not possible because of something we missed. So therefore, we should test an Jakarta E11 implementation in the spec release process. And therefore, we need a compatible implementation that covers that. And when Quarkus is based on 10 and 11 is planned for later, then this should be another compatible implementation. And having more than one is even a better proof to not have missed anything. But that's optional. But at least one for Jakarta E10 and Jakarta E11 is a requirement, I think.
It depends. I don't think so. It's all depends on what we say in the 7.2. If we in the spec in the 7.2 spec we say it works with E10. So just like that, why we should test E11? So if we say it works with 10 and 11, yeah, you must test with 10 and 11.
Yeah, then
So
we should prepare for potential 7.3 very soon if it turns out we missed something. And the TCK, for example, need to be updated to support 11 in the right place.
Yeah, if it did not work, and then we must have to release the 8 maybe MicroProfile 8 to work with E11. So I think with this, if we just claim is work with E10 and implementation, I recommend it to work to support E11, but in the spec itself, it does not claim this. So it's the implementation can go ahead and try it out. If this find out it's not working, I will prepare for another release. John, you are trying to say something, right?
No, I don't think I have my hand up.
Oh, okay, sorry. I
Nope,
saw.
no problem.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that approach, by the way.
Yeah, I think Ed put a comment in the chat. I think also CDI has a major release between Jakarta E10 and 11. And yeah, then
I looked
yeah,
at the
it could.
CDI release. I don't think it has the dependency we had on CDI should not change, should not cause any issues.
CDI 4.1. So I think that's a feature update in E10, E11. So the only two major releases are JSON binding and RESTful web services. Again, I think it's just things were deprecated and removed, so there could be some incompatibility to the application. Doesn't mean that there's an incompatibility in every application, but that's my.
Yeah, in Liberty we tried we ran the MicroProfile 7.1. It works with Jakarta E11.
It's so remember the compatibility is for customer applications, right? So if they have some dependency on something that was deprecated, and when we remove it, now that that incompatibility shows up in their application, and they have to make some kind of a change to get their application to work with the new release. So, I mean, it may not be tested. It may not be something that's tested in the TCK. And like I said, if it's in many of these cases, those APIs have been deprecated for quite a while. So, with any hope, user applications won't be using them, but they might be. That's all.
Yeah.
So the possibility exists that a customer application could find an incompatibility.
We are not here to discuss whether is the customer have the rely on some older CDI features and not they find out is not working. That's because of they have a dependency on the EE levels, on the different EE levels. But for the so here is about MicroProfile release. So what my comment regarding the dependencies on the Jakarta core profile from MicroProfile spec point of view, we did not depend on the removed features from the Jakarta E11 core profile. So it's not about the customer applications. This is about the MicroProfile implementation is should work and with Jakarta E11.
Okay, I guess we have a different understanding about what the compatibility statement is supposed to be for.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Different. Anyway.
Different compatibility. So obviously for the app, they are not using any MicroProfile APIs. They use Jakarta E, the deleted features. Obviously, they have to go through the migration.
I kind of fall in Ed's camp here. It worries me a little bit, because customers do write directly to the JSON APIs, right? And that is we layer on top of that. So it's not just about MicroProfile. We included core profile as a part of MicroProfile. So I'd be a little bit worried as well. Is it just a CDI version, or do we have to look more into what else has changed?
CDI
Remember,
is a feature update, so it should not be incompatible with
Okay.
Between 10 and 11.
All right.
remember,
So let's
Joe,
take a look and maybe report back for next meeting.
we did not include it. We already in the MicroProfile 7, we said make it as a dependency rather than include. So that's why we can say it should work with either Jakarta E10 or 11. So in the MicroProfile, we declare the dependency, not we embed the Jakarta E versions. If that's true, is whenever we change Jakarta E levels, we will have a major MicroProfile update.
Yeah, I got to think about that a little bit more. I mean, I understand what you're saying. You're saying that because it's ports 10, it doesn't break. And the customers, if they're worried about compatibility, should just remain on 10. I got to think about that. All right.
Yeah, we can discuss more on that as we're making more progress. Yeah. Okay, so at least okay, for the staging, I will take a to do for that. The other thing is for the tutorial. So Turan has done more tutorial on the MicroProfile, pull in MicroProfile 7.1. And then I believe he done tutorial.
I mean, I plan on looking at it. I was there a couple days ago. I just haven't had a chance to review any updates.
Yeah. So I got Andrew to do a thorough review for OpenAPI. Lots of comments and pinned down. And now it's the REST client. So it's James, if you have time to take a look at the REST client 4.1. It's for this one. It's PR.
Okay.
Thank you, James. Okay. And then the next one is the program plan. Thank you, John, for creating this one. So it's I think this one, evaluate the new specifications. So what are we going to do with the converters? So I guess now we are all tied up with the releases, and then in the meantime, I think the more we discuss it, I think it's more useful to have a spec about the how to convert from one type to the other, and then so Robert.
Yeah, I was gonna say Roberto because he was talking about that a while back.
Yeah. So Roberto, what your thought on this?
No, I mean, I work on that. I do have like an implementation on small Rye with converters. And I mean, and basically, I kind of stopped working on that because with all of the Jakarta thing, right? I mean, at the time, or at least like some time ago, Jakarta wanted to do like a converter thing as well, and then there was a discussion about who should do it, and then there was the all the things about like moving MicroProfile to Jakarta. So uh, I mean, I mean, I don't have to tell all the story again, right? You know the mess, you know
Yeah.
all the mess that we are between all the Jakarta and MicroProfile. So I didn't want to just start doing work on something that we have no idea what was going to end up with.
Maybe we should start rethink this again. Creating the new spec. So it's I think a business as usual. Is we have to make a progress in the MicroProfile land as well.
Well, sure.
Yeah, I will work with you. We see how to move this forward. Thanks. So for this one, and then alignment, we tried discussed, but for this MicroProfile semidot too, we need to also evaluate Jakarta E10. Even though we say work with Jakarta E10, I think the runtime should be encouraged, or not least we should not limit the runtime from working with the later version Jakarta EE. But when we Liberty will definitely will prototype and also try to get the TTK running with Jakarta EE 11. There's some other things. I think we have to. I don't know whether this is still anybody interested in this. If not, I think we just close it. I will double check with Emerson to see whether he still want to own it. So this one, improve alignment, better and the story. So obviously, actually for Liberty, we try to run with the latest Java versions as well. So I think in the MicroProfile, like in this, is a demonstrator. We run 11, 17, and 21. Is the Liberty 2508. And then also it's our intention to run with different EE levels as well, if it's been supported by Liberty. So that would be, let's have that coverage. Think, yeah, that's it. So it's so this one, configure discussion. So Yan shared a recording. So the slide is in here, right? Yeah, slide.
Yeah, Michael shared the slides on the Future Directions GitHub repository.
So here, yeah, so this one. So if, yeah, so it's the link is all in here. If you want, take a look what Yan has done, and also the recording as well. So the team recording. So it's and then hopefully everybody can access that and then listen to the recording. So with that, I think that's all appeared on this agenda. So anybody else want to bring anything up?
Yeah, to that last point, did you have a chance to look at the slides or rethinking from the presentation here in this meeting 2 weeks ago?
I just had a brief look. I didn't spend much time on it. So yeah, I haven't spent much time on it.
Yeah, and I apologize as well. I haven't, but I will do it before the next call.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think last time when I clicked the link recording, I didn't have the permission. I don't know. So John, can you access the recording?
I will, let's see, the one on YouTube?
Is it uploaded to YouTube? I thought this is team.
I know I put it up to my Proton drive first, and that's where Ryan grabs them and posts them to YouTube. I don't know if he's done that yet, right? So I might have sent you a link to the Proton one, which may have had sharing issues.
Yeah,
it's
so
an
last
intermediate step that Ryan and I use.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But let me check.
Yeah.
Real quick.
So that's all then. So it's with that, I think it's yeah, we'll also listen to the recording and
that was the Teams recording in that Future Directions call, or the recording from 2 weeks ago, the short version?
Oh, I don't know. Looks at this one link. Who put in here?
I don't know. I think that was Michael.
This is team. This is a team link.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have put. Yeah, I can't remember if it was me or Michael put links in there.
Yeah.
But let's see. What date was it that
I think
was it the technical call?
2 weeks ago.
So that'd be the.
Yeah, if you have a link, if you have a link, share a link. I'll put it in the minutes. So if it's everybody can access, that would be good.
Yeah, I don't think we're caught up yet to the 10th. I see February 3rd.
Okay.
For the live hangout. I don't see the 10th technical call up yet.
Okay. Maybe we should sync up with
Yeah,
Ryan.
I'm looking. Yeah, those are currently still our issues that haven't been closed yet in the MicroProfile marketing Git. So those haven't been moved over yet. I'll nudge Ryan.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, John. With that, you have 11 minutes back. Thank you all. and chat again next week. Bye,
All right, thank
everybody.
you.
You.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.